Alright, so today we are diving into how to do beef bombs. Once again, finding the beef. The more lean you go, the less calories and fat content. The more less lean you go, the more fat calories. So that is a good way to kind of adjust your calories. So then we're going to add 270 grams of gluten-free flour. You can do regular flour with this. Gluten-free tends to be a little bit more healthy. If I was making this for myself, I might do whole wheat flour, but Jordan has a gluten intolerance, so 270 grams of gluten-free flour. So from here, we're going to be adding 1 pound of ground beef. This one particular is 93.7. I believe that Aldi's does a 94.6, but you can get a little bit leaner. Whatever lean you can do, the better. So then here I'm going to be putting out parchment paper. I recommend parchment paper over foil just to avoid some of those microcontaminants that can get into the food. Not a big thing, but over time can be a problem. And then we're going to be doing 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So here's my fiance putting that in right now. She's so lovely. This is her dish, by the way. She does this one better than I even do. She's made it for me a couple times as I've come in from work and everything. That's always real appreciated. So there's 3 teaspoons of baking powder. That helps to kind of bake everything. So then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Now, I believe the cornstarch is probably optional in this, to be honest, but it does add a little bit more of a crisp to it. You can play around with it. I haven't found anything to be more than a teaspoon of cornstarch to be worthwhile, but it's totally fine to play around with a little bit. It's not going to add too much to the actual recipe. From there, you're going to be doing a tablespoon of olive oil. You can also use avocado oil if you want to go a little bit healthier with this. So then you're going to be zeroing out your scale because we're going to measure out the cheese. Now we need about 14 ounces of cheddar cheese. You can do this one of 2 ways. You can put all 14 ounces into the mixture, or you can actually do 16 ounces total and do 14 ounces in the mixture and then add about 2 ounces on top of them after they come out, just for a little bit extra cheese, because sometimes it does get baked in. Now we've been using fat-free cheese. In ours, you can do that to cut calories quite significantly, but you will lose a lot of the taste here. So we have switched to just doing the regular mild cheddar, and it's way better, but you will have to pay for that in calories as well. So just keep that in mind. So we're looking for 14 ounces of cheddar cheese. So now that you have your cheddar cheese and everything mixed in together, you can add salt to taste. And basically, you're just going to start mixing. Now, if you find that you've been mixing for a while and it's not quite taking the shape that we're looking for here, you can add some water to get it to kind of stick together a little bit more. But Jordan's very patient with this part. I am not. This is why hers are always better than mine. But you just kind of keep working this mixture together, and eventually it's going to come out into a really good dough. So here's what the mixture should look like. We added a little bit of water, and Jordan's been working it for probably about 5 to 6 minutes. So it might be closer to the 5 minutes, depending on, just don't overuse the water. You don't want that to happen either, but you're just kind of working it in here, and that's going to add a lot to it. But this is what your mixture looks like, and then we're going to start making balls from that. So as you can see now, Jordan's picking off little pieces of this and making the balls. The big thing that you want to remember with this part is you want them to be, you can do them whatever size you want, but just remember how many of the balls you do, because you're going to take the entire amount of ingredients to log it into your food tracker. But then you're going to divide that number, and that's going to give you the individual serving size of each of the balls. So then you just know how many is in each of the things. And so you just divide that number. So if you have 16 balls, you would divide that out of the total amount of the ingredients here, and that would give you your proper calories for tracking these. And these are just a great way to get, it's like a Cheddar Bay biscuit with beef in it, so it has a little bit extra of protein, and it tastes really good. It's a nice little treat, a great way to get the calories up whenever you have them. So now that all of the balls are on the trays, we're going to go ahead and put those in the oven. We're baking these at 350 degrees for 15 minutes, then you check them. We're just kind of looking. You don't want to dry them out. They do have that potential to dry out. So you kind of got to go for like a medium thing, you know, do your regular meat thermometer. I believe meat at medium is done right around 160. So then we're going to take those out after doing them for about 12 minutes or 15. And now we need to put on the butter. So we use Danish Creamery or Kerrygold butter. It just is a richer butter. It's definitely more natural, so we like to use that. It costs a little bit more. You can use regular butter, but just 30 seconds of that. Make sure it stirs up to about this consistency here. And then we're going to be adding in some seasonings to kind of give it really that garlic Cheddar Bay biscuit flavor like you would find at like a Red Lobster or something like that. So Jordan's just going to mix this up here, and then we're going to use Lowry's garlic salt for putting into the mixture here. So just a little bit of a pour into that. And she's doing a pretty good amount there, just getting it out of there and everything. So pouring the garlic butter in, and then we're also going to add into it the onion powder. And the onion powder is going to add just to get us that right seasonings for this these garlic Cheddar Bay biscuit beef bombs. So then all you do is just merely brush that onto the beef bombs. They should be ready to go. Serve them and eat them with fixing within your macros, and it's a very nice treat. We used to usually do these about every Tuesday. So I thank you everyone for watching. Look for more recipes like this one coming up on the channel, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.